beauty of the universe. Like the answers are layered into our daily activities. And we just have to be open to receive, which sounds a little bit hokey and perhaps not as fundamental as one might like. And so if someone needs a real practice that's a little bit more concrete, I do suggest journaling. And journaling in a specific way, people like to do it in different ways. You can write your questions out and you can answer very quickly without thought in a way that you're allowing your unconscious mind to answer the question. Some people like to write the questions with their dominant hand, write the answers with their non-dominant hand. This is tapping into the unconscious also. So there are many exercises to do. A lot of it does involve patience, which is not a human condition often either, right? So we want answers, but we want them now. And so I do.
Well, yeah, that's somebody like me, you know. When I have a question, I want an answer now. And that, again, my son will say to me, you know, Mom, it may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. It may show up next week, but it will happen, you know. And then I say, And then, of course, my beliefs are tested again, you know. But
and, of course, I love that it's coming from your son, because I'm sure it's a completely different dynamic when it's your own son, right?
Well, you know, and it took him a long time to get there, Joanne. I mean, he was not like this for many, many, many years. He's done a lot of study. And by doing that study, he has become a totally different individual. So it's just amazing to me. I mean, it's a wonderful change. I mean, I loved him before and I love him now, but I mean, it's a much more peaceful change, you know? So, so what would you say the benefits of living a regret-free life are?
Well, I love it because you just gave me that answer. You know, it's your son is living a more peaceful life because of these concepts, because of exactly the same concepts. We're applying them in this moment to regret. They could be applied to any element of life. I just think that it's the soul's desire to be free. This is one of my favorite things that Wayne Dyer used to say. And I believe this. I believe that happiness is our birthright. I believe that really we're trying to get to feel joy and bliss and not just complacency, right? And so a lot of spiritual traditions teach being in the moment. That can sound a little bit cliche and a little frustrating to a Western cultured mind. But I think if we can really start trusting that everything happens for a reason, pay attention. I love that I get to work with people because I hear people's stories all the time. And often then I hear how things worked out for them. So sometimes we're so stuck in our own story that we forget to listen to others and pay attention how everything has worked out for someone else, therefore it might for us, right? So I think that it offers freedom, and it offers a freedom that then allows us to create a better tomorrow. If we're stuck in what didn't happen yesterday, then we're really not using the vibration of being in the moment and the energy of potential to create a better tomorrow. What if it didn't work out last year? Here's my what question. What can I do about it now? Do I want to create it again? Did it not work out for a reason and I want to try something else? And then not only are you free from the past, which is weighing you down, but you're excited about the tomorrow. You're excited about the future. So let's not just go for freedom. Let's go for excited and joy and remembering that we have the ability to create our life exactly the way we want it.
Wow. I mean, all of this sounds beautiful. So I have to ask you, have you had regrets in your life?
Many. It's a whole have coffee talk. Yeah, I really have. And I think, maybe a parallel sort of story to your son. It was a struggle for many years. It's sort of like, how could you have struggle at 2 years old, right? But I really believe there was a heaviness, a worry. A lot of that manifested some trials and tribulations when I was younger. Like many people that I know, there was struggle with addictions, there were family estrangements, there was, self-hate, worthiness issues, all that sort of stuff. And so I really used those scenarios to go into the deeper teachings. I suppose at that point I was working with a why question. It's sort of why me, why this heavy life, why this struggle. And through that, found the teachers that have helped me, in the way that we've discussed today. So I'm now get to say I'm incredibly grateful for the way everything was, and honestly wouldn't change any of it now.
And so do you still have regrets at this time?
I really don't. I think I might use anything from the past. So there's a big difference in regretting and having it as great material for yourself. In other words, if you go back into your files, what do I still want to come to fruition? What about the past can I learn? And what do I still want to do something with, or can I just leave it be? And so there's no regret, there's no heaviness. It's just juicy material that I got to pull in from to work with my now and work with my tomorrow. So it's great. It's great.
Well, you at least are using your own medicine, which is good, because we want. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, every one of us goes through all of this. I mean, life is not perfect, and there's things that we have to cope with on an everyday basis. But having these tools and these abilities at our fingertips is what allows us to live a regret-free life. And so, I mean, one of my what I call reducers of stress and feeling of regret are my animals, and I work out every day, and those are the things that I utilize to keep me what I call sane in this crazy world that I live in. So, I certainly get that. But now, how would people get in touch with you, Joanne? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, possibly just my website. It's just joannemuir.com, so pretty easy to remember. And on there are emails and contact information, upcoming events. I do Skype work, in-person work, group work, that sort of thing. So that's a good home base to start with. And then if they wanted more personal connection, they can always email or call and that sort of thing.
Okay, so I'm going to spell that out for them. It's Joanne, Joanne, and Muir, MUIR.com, correct?
Correct. And through there,
because we want to make sure they can find you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Joanne Muir, JoanneMuir.com. Well, you can tell, folks, by listening to Joanne, that she is a peaceful person. She's got all this knowledge and all this experience behind her. I mean, she's got a degree in human development. She's got a concentration in consciousness studies. She studied with shamans, and she's just done a lot of these things. And you also offer what's called soul journey retreats, correct?
Yes, that's new. I'm really excited about that. I find travel to be one of the greatest. There's journeying that is inward and there's journeying that is outward. It all creates change. Because I've had the opportunity to visit other lands, per se, I have found that it is one of the most powerful change elements to go visit sacred sites, to feel the energy at some of these locations across the world. So this is a new venture, and a few times a year we're going to explore places like Peru, South Africa, and really help people go on these journeys of self-discovery, in some beautiful, beautiful parts of the world. I'm really excited about that.
Okay, folks, so you got it here. If you're interested in going on a sacred journey, this is the way to do it. This is the person to do it with. Well, I want to tell you something. It has been just a delight, Joanne. I've really appreciated today's program. I'm sure that everybody else has as well, because it gives us a way to look at this crazy world in a wholly different way, and to practice some of the things that allow us to settle ourselves down and make, let's say, better and more intelligent decisions. So thanks so much for being with us, and I know people will find your website a real joy to visit.
Thank you, Gail. It was such a joy to speak with you. Thank you so much.